Hey everyone, I'm Heidi and I'm here to guide you to create your happy and harmonious family that you know you dream of with information and wisdom that feels good in your heart and which actually works. So, today we're going to be talking about feeling confident to continuously strengthen your connection with your child. Now, I want you to think straight up about your connection with your child or even your connection with your mother and the feelings that come up when that connection isn't strong. So, throughout your child's life or throughout your life with your mother, you might be able to think of certain phases where it hasn't been the strongest and how you felt underneath. Generally, there's a feeling of despair. There may be feelings of anger, frustration, irritation, which comes out in all sorts of behaviors and ways. Or it may be that there's a deep sadness, or perhaps you've even buried it, fully tucked the elephant under the rug with your mum or with one of your children. But most mums come to me in a state of desperation, in a state of that constant something, an alarm going off. There's something that's not right because I know that I'm not as connected with that child. Usually there's one in particular in the family as much as I dream of that I yearn for. There's a yearning that I want to connect more with that child. So the problem is we have not been given information on the importance of connection with our mum and with our child. The mother-child connection is such an important concept for us to understand, but we've been conditioned to just get on with life. Mums have been conditioned to throw their child under the bus, to have a little laugh at them, to have a joke at them, and then to come up with all sorts of reasons as to the problems of why my child isn't connecting with me, and looking at these behaviors. Sometimes we might go and diagnose them. We might give them a funny, annoying nickname. And then underneath it, though, are those feelings. And that's what some of the beautiful mums are coming my way going, I actually really know that I want to connect deeper with my children. And how do we do that? It's confusion out there because there isn't a lot of information. So I am here to guide you. I have been through that many challenges with my children in keeping the connection strong. It is thinned and weakened at times and then bring it back in, and thinned and weakened and bring it back in. So that's the first thing to remember, is that it is everyone's job to continuously work at strengthening our connections. Picture it like an umbilical cord to your child. You will continuously have to work on it. This is the game of life as far as relationships. No one gets out of here without some phase, if not many, if not a lot, where the connection is weakened. So I've written some notes to make sure I stay on track. So when we have a weakened connection, we have feelings. It is our warning system that something's not right here. The family energetic blueprint is something not right. People are getting too far away from their hearts and it needs to come back in. So when you feel those feelings that I've been talking about, the yearning, the desperation, the anger, irritation, frustration with that person, the deep sadness, that is your sign to go, I must be putting my attention to this. Why? Because as we let connection slip with our child, if we don't work on it, it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And we're going to talk about all of that coming up soon. So remember, everyone has to work on it. Remember that there are stages. So it often begins, I will say 100% of the time, it begins at birth. Some mothers have had a great birth and a great time of connecting with that baby. That might not be the child that you're thinking of right now, but guaranteed you will still have to work at connection at some point in your child's life, as the mother child, even into adultville. So keep that in mind. Every child you'll have to work with at some point. But then, if there's been any factors that have been set up for you not to have the most perfect connecting time at birth in all the different factors, and that's a whole other video, then it's going to keep rearing its head until we feel through the emotions of what it feels like to be a mum playing out that particular theme of how I couldn't connect with my child. And there's many different ways that it might play out at birth. Maybe they were separated. Maybe someone, the father got in and, had a better connection time. There's so many different themes. So really think about what it was at your child's birth, because that's the same type of theme that will keep coming back up. So then we get into toddlerville. And if things have been okay, or you've buried it under the rug after the birth, which we often do just in survival, then all of a sudden you're at toddlerville, and then all of a sudden there's things going all haywire. Now, if it's not toddlerville, then it may be something that creeps up in childhood, or many things. It can then also will in certain ways come up at teenageville, and then obviously even into adulthood. We need to think about our connection with our mother. How is your connection with your mother? Have a real think about that, to go, oh yeah, my child's going to be an adult child, and I'll be an adult. We'll still be going through this. Now, many of our mums have let shit slide, and they've let the connection go if it's not there now, right? And that's the part to check in with yourself. Do you want to let things go, or are you going to keep working at this like it is part of your life's work? My connection with my child is important. And that means the sooner you get onto it, the better. The proactiveness will rain down on you with gold nuggets into the future than letting it go. So 2 symptoms. This is the next thing. I'm just talking through a couple of quick things that we really need to understand, so we're not in confusion about what's going on, because the confusion can actually then make things worse for our thinning connection with our child, and I'm confused, I don't know what to do. So the 2 things to remember is there's 2 symptoms, I suppose you would say, that you can start to spot in your child if there's a disconnect with them. So the first one is that they don't listen to you, won't listen to you. Now, obviously not as a baby, that's a little bit different, but like as a toddler, they may be running off, they may be doing embarrassing things, they just, anything. It's just they're not listening to me. I've lost that connection with them. Then obviously into childhood, then into teenageville, you can start to picture the scenarios where my child won't listen to me, and how important that is, into the future if they won't listen to you. If your child won't listen to you, you got nothing. That's why we need to take this as such important work. The second symptom is that they don't show respect to us. Now, as a toddler, that might be throwing things, it might be, not taking care of possessions, it may be kicking us as the mother. Then, of course, it goes into childhood and into teenageville and whatnot in all sorts of ways. Swearing, I'm going to go and throw my food out at school that I don't like. All sorts of ways they're showing I don't respect you. They might not say thank you. They might not see you. There's a lot of different ways that it can show up. But generally, if you've got a problem with your child, come back to this. Are they listening to me, and do they respect me? What are the behaviors that they're doing? That behavior, often we can map it back to going, they're actually not showing respect. Now, those 2 things equal disconnect. I'm disconnected from you, mum. Now, the third thing for us to look at, so everyone has to work at it. There's 2 symptoms that will show up. And then the third thing is the mirror. Now, most of the time, mums don't want to work on this heart connection because it involves a mirror. It involves looking at ourselves. And it involves feeling the discomfort within ourselves as we look at the mirror. That is the number one thing we are most scared of, is to feel those feelings on the inside when I look at the mirror. Now, the mirror, what I'm talking about is, as I just said, the 2 symptoms are they won't listen to me, and they're not showing me any respect. Now, when someone doesn't have respect for you, they don't have heart for you. They're not feeling with you. Now, those 2 things our child is doing out in the external, because they're saying, Mum, you're not listening to yourself, and you're not having heart for yourself. You're not talking and listening, and you're not feeling. So the throat and the heart, my work will always come back to. But particularly with mother-child connection, it will always come back to feeling and speaking and listening. So I'm just going to run through a few examples just quickly to give you the idea. Remember, I'm doing this as a series. I'm going to be doing more videos, so subscribe to my channel. If you're already thinking, yeah, wow, this is important stuff, please hit the like button, because that helps to share the message even more, and tell any friends about my channel as well. So the examples, let's talk about a baby. The first type of signs that I see with mums with disconnect with their child is when something is going wrong with the baby. For example, they won't sleep. Now, as soon as there's something going wrong with the baby, they won't sleep, then I need to start listening to myself. we are often so into, I need to fix this. And I have done it in going through, how can I fix my child? How can I get him to sleep? But the first thing is to listen to yourself. What does it actually feel like to be a mother going through this? Actually talk it out and actually hear yourself. Unfortunately, we don't have a therapist sitting in the corner all day, all night as we're up, changing nappies and feeding them in the night and not getting any sleep. We have to do that work for ourselves. And the work is simply, this feels hard. This is so challenging. I wish my baby would sleep. I am so tired. Getting to the heart of the matter. And it generally is those basic, needs in life that we're not getting. I'm trying so hard and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. There's no answers out there for me. No one's helping me. So talking and listening to yourself, your baby will start to actually literally mirror back to you in all sorts of ways, and the behaviors will start to change. This is family energetics. So with that, that's the talking, and then the feeling is actually feeling it, to actually let the feelings up, to go, I'm exhausted. And I mean, obviously at that time, at newborn time, when you're not sleeping, it can actually be quite easy to crack and the tears just spill out anyway because you're so tired. So feeling and talking, be your own therapist, be your own supporter, have heart for yourself. And as you let this up, which I've written to the nth degree, how it actually happens with energetics in my book, The Game of Life, How to Play the New Way. That is pointing out literally all the different things that go on as we shift within ourselves, everyone in the external shifts. So you can get your baby sleeping by shifting yourself, the feeling and the speaking. And if it sounds too miraculous to you, stay with it. Think about it in your heart. Does it actually feel good? The idea of giving yourself some time to have heart for yourself as a mother. We are trying to give heart too much to our children, or we're trying to fix the scenario and it's not even heart. We're up here trying to solve the problem instead of sinking back in and simply allowing ourselves to work through what's going on. And energetically, as we shift within, things shift on the outside. So that's the first example. Child, I've written down, I could write so many examples. These are just an example. But what I will say in general, as soon as I hear a mum saying this kid, or they're using the child's formal name and not a nickname, as soon as I see them not really have that loving tenderness with their child, I can start to pick up signs of dread and disconnect. And these are all symptoms of, I'm having a tough time with my child. I have not come around to be with them and feeling and sitting with myself. And so instead, I'm worried about what my child's going to do next to make me feel this stuff anyway. So if we don't deal with those feelings in Babyville, then toddlers are going to come up. Children are going to come up, and the stuff just keeps on coming. The what's wrong with your child. So I'm going to talk through a child who might be rude, might be embarrassing out at the park. They might be ADHD, running around and causing chaos. Now, the more we try and fix and solve and come back, no, don't do that, and all of this, we've completely ignored ourselves. We're not listening to ourselves, and we are certainly not feeling for ourselves. And so again, this can be any time in your day. You come back to that, talk to yourself. This is what it feels like to be a mum with a child who's constantly embarrassing. And it might be, I'm feeling so damn jealous of all the other mums that aren't going through this. I'm feeling so much heat coming up in my face, in my hands, in my jaw when my child goes and does that to me. All sorts of things might come up. You can write this out. You can go for a walk and sit and think about it. Any type of meditation where you can just lie there and literally say, this is hard. I don't like this. This is not what I dreamed of as being a parent. Then you're starting to get to the heart of the matter. Then you're starting to shift on the inside. If you can find someone to talk about it, literally just saying this stuff, that's great. Often what happens though is if you start to tell people these feelings, they try to give you advice and they try to, again, fix the scenario instead of them sitting and allowing you to feel and just talk this stuff through. That is the medicine. So I'm going to create another video with my own personal embodied lived examples of having gone through this stuff with my children. So if you want to listen to that and get more practical, stories about it, then please do stay tuned for that video. The next example I'm just going to give, though, is about teenagers. So let's say that they swear at you or they say something rude to you. It's the same thing. They're saying, I don't respect you. I'm not listening to you. No, you're not listening to yourself, mum. You're not respecting yourself. And it's coming back to put your finger on. It can get harder. This is what it feels like to have a child who swears at me. This is what it feels like to have a child who walks away and doesn't care when I've made them a dinner. Instead, they're just rude at me. And it takes a lot of practice to come in here and to actually soften and to get to the feminine, to get to that vulnerable place of, I'm really tired with life. I've just made a really nice meal. I put in a lot of effort and my child hasn't seen that. And that's the stuff to work through. And the energy coming up and out will, help your body, your physical body so much. It just softens all that tension that we're holding. It undoes all the physical health issues that we have bit by bit, slowly by slowly. The hormonal issues, maybe the tight neck, maybe, constant colds, whatever it is that you've got going on, flowing this energy, it's going to actually hit on that as well. And that is a whole other topic again as well. So that's my examples, just to remind you, it doesn't matter what stage of life, when your child is showing up in a not a great way, it's a chance to come back to you to go, oh gosh, they're reflecting back to me. I need to listen and I need to feel for myself. I need to have heart for myself. And then as you start to see the results of what plays out, the more you get into tears and the more you really let this stuff out, the bigger the shift. That's what I will say. Dive into it. Find what is so tough and challenging and saddening and frustrating about being a mother in these scenarios, and you will find gold on the other side. So please, again, as I say, like and subscribe, share this as much as you possibly can, please. It helps the message go further. Also, just stay in touch with this channel. If you want to subscribe, make sure you get notifications, or I'm going to put underneath in my comments how to sign up for my email. So then I'm going to be emailing out reminders when my videos come out too. It's all just to make sure everyone stays connected. If you would like a session with me, please go to my website, HeidiHosking.com, follow into offerings and whatnot. You'll see it there, or else go to the link below. I am so happy to help mothers. I've helped hundreds of mothers get into this process of I need to fix my child in this something wrong and I dread my child and all of that, into, oh yes, it's just a chance to come back to me and my heart. And as I do that, the miracles happen that my child just starts to come back too. Stay tuned for my stories video so you can see what's happened for me and my children and how I am continuously strengthening my connection with my children as it gets weakened throughout the bumps in life. See you, bye.